How's it going, folks? So, the band Trick or Treat is back here with a new song called Ghosted. I'm really excited for this. They have a new album coming out April 25th. Exciting times here. But yeah, we got this new song to get a glimpse of what we can expect on the new album. So, let's dive on in and give it a listen, shall we? Rangers, go.
Scrolling through my memories, watching conversation long gone unread, staring at the glow of the screen, turn to ash in the graveyard of our friendship, searching for your voice, the one I used to know. I feel like a ghost, where did I go? I've been ghosted, hidden by a wall of liars, and your desire is locked in a cage where I fall like a monster. I'm screaming in the darkness and hear my sadness while waiting like a damn soul. I've been ghosted. Now I'm a ghost in a world unknown. In this digital wasteland, bombs reduced to gold, like a bull in a china shop. All my feelings shatter into crystal drops, looking for your hands, reach out me to the end of this virtual nightmare where I stand. I've been ghosted, hidden by a wall of liars, and your desire is locked in a cage where I fall like a monster. I'm screaming in the darkness and hear my sadness while waiting like a damn soul. I've been ghosted. I'm still ghosted. I can't even ask a question. No answer to this obsession. And I walk alone against my fate. I've been ghosted, hidden by a wall of liars, and your desire is locked in a cage where I fall like a monster. I'm screaming in the darkness and hear my sadness while waiting like a damn soul. I've been ghosted.
Man, I love that room that they're in that films the video. There's so much cool, like, not Easter eggs, but like just nostalgic stuff, pop culture stuff in there. Han Solo trapped in that thing, and all that other stuff in there. And I especially love the Polybius arcade machine, that classic urban legend. If y'all don't know the story behind the Polybius arcade cabinet, check it out. It's interesting. Yeah, so that room was really neat. And, the song, it wasn't quite what I was expecting. It kind of threw me for a loop at first. I got more on board with it as it went. And, I think this is the kind of song that will grow on you, that after multiple listens, it really kind of sinks in more. It's got a catchy chorus. I like kind of the delivery of the melody and stuff and things like that. So like I said, I really think this is the sort of song that will grow on you the more that you listen to it. But even with that being said, I do feel like it's missing something. Like I was trying to put my finger on it throughout the song, and it almost feels like it's lacking that oomph. Like there's a spark missing behind the song, and it leads to it feeling almost like an empty shell. Like it doesn't have that surge of power. I'm not saying it has to just be this ripping power metal track or anything like that, but there's something missing there, and that's why I say it's almost like an empty shell. Like there's a bit of a energy missing, or like an emptiness behind the song, and it's just kind of a surface level sort of thing. So it's like at its core there's not that I don't know, just that something, that spark, that thing that just gives this full, well-rounded kind of sound and really kind of elevates it. Because as it stands, like I said, it's just relatively surface level. That doesn't seem like there's much depth behind it, or again, just that oomph, that spark, that extra energy there. So it just makes it feel, again, a little lacking, whereas like part of me is like, oh, I'm kind of liking this, but there's something missing, I don't know how else to explain it. Because I like the guitar work, like the main riff and stuff like that. It had a nice quality to it, and that was, I felt like that had the most edge, like, to the song. That had the most kind of energy there, but everything else around it just, I don't know. And the closest it came to kind of having that full kind of sound was there in the bridge. But then, even that, it kind of drops out a little bit, which I found interesting. Like, the bridge starts out, which also I thought was kind of weird, because in the bridge, you get kind of the symphonic stuff and all that, and you get kind of this like eerie, kind of spooky sort of vibe, but it just didn't quite match the rest of the song. Like, if I didn't have the video, whereas the video, it's got some spooky stuff going on, and I was just listening to the song, I would just think it kind of came out of nowhere, because it didn't feel like that particular kind of sound was woven throughout the whole song. So when that drops, it's kind of like, this is interesting. It just feels like it comes out of nowhere. I like the sound of it, though. Like, it sounded really tight. And then you get like the first part of the solo and stuff, and there's that good energy. There's, a fullness to the whole sound of the song. So you got like the symphonics going. You got all this other stuff, and there's glimmers of that spark. But then like the second part of the solo, it kind of drops things out again a little bit. I was like, okay, we're kind of getting back into that vibe of the rest of the song, where it just feels, a little bit empty, or maybe it's in the momentum of the song. It has a very kind of slow paced sort of momentum in the guise of like the more kind of edgy guitars and the somewhat kind of powerful sound of the lines that are being delivered there in the chorus. But the way it's like delivered, ba 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 ba. It just, I don't know. It just, that momentum is just a little odd, and maybe it's just a little bit of that kind of slow pace. It's almost like you're going through like molasses, or something like you're trying to move, but your movement's kind of restricted. That's kind of how I feel about it. And so there's a lot of elements that I really like, but I feel like it could have been tightened up a little bit, maybe sped up just a touch. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a slower kind of momentum, but here, just the execution of it, it just feels like it's, again, almost like restricted. Like, it doesn't quite feel natural, the movement. And so I think that threw me off a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, the guitar work was solid. I really like the drum work. I think the drums were kind of the standout here. Had a really nice sound. I loved the fills and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the vocals are really solid. He didn't have too terribly much to work with here, but what he did, it sounded really great. And again, the line delivery in the chorus, even though I kind of have that momentum issue of the song in general and the pacing of it. But those moments where he's kind of hitting us with those lines and the certain words that are emphasized, it sounded really good and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit to like about it. But then again, there's a lot that I feel like you have to kind of wrap your head around and really kind of get into that sort of restricted momentum sort of vibe and just wrap your head around the overall sound. So it wasn't quite what I was expecting, but again, I really do think it's the kind of song that will grow on you the more you hear it. But just off the first listen, that's kind of my thoughts on it. So yeah, it's a tough one to kind of pin down on one listen. So I'm definitely going to give it some more listens, but just off the first one, those are my thoughts. So, I will say it is a little underwhelming, but there is room for it again to grow the more you listen to it. But I still think at the end of the day, some of those elements that I had mentioned could be tightened up a bit to give it more of that impact, more of that full kind of sound. But anywho, time will tell. But I'm still super excited for the new album, April 25th. Let me know, folks, in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this one? Very, very curious to hear what you all have to say. And I'll catch you next time, Ranger. Out.